Multi-age classrooms, daily choices in lessons and activities, and the absence of tests and quizzes are most likely not typical characteristics of your elementary experience. However, all of these things make up Montessori-style education. As an elementary education major, I've had the privilege of learning about all different types of education and immersing myself into various types of classrooms. Montessori education has become an education style that I am fascinated with and have spent many hours learning about. There are currently about 5,000 Montessori programs here in the United States, with over 500 of those being public education. There is likely a Montessori program near you, and it is important to be aware of this educational option. As a college student myself, I know that this time in our lives is all about learning new things and becoming accustomed to the real world that we will soon enter. Montessori education is a lesser-known form of education that has a number of benefits and drawbacks in its unique style. In this speech, I will discuss the background of Montessori education, as well as general information and research benefits and drawbacks to its unique educational approach. It is important to understand the foundation of Montessori education in order to grasp its unique characteristics. Montessori education began in 1906 when a woman named Dr. Maria Montessori was invited to start and run a school for low-income students ages 2 to 7 in Rome. According to the American Montessori Society, Maria Montessori was an Italian physician, educator, and innovator. She originally attended a school to become a physician, but was soon after introduced to the educational system when she was asked to begin that low-income school in Rome. The Association Montessori National Organization explains on their website that when she began teaching, Maria believed that the human mind is constructed to organize and learn from the environment. Because of this, she created an educational method, Montessori education, based on the rapid absorption rates of the child brain and to cultivate natural development. Writer Coleman McCarthy describes this educational style in a newspaper article he wrote by using a key central phrase, "Let children be children." In 2020, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz designated a specific week to Montessori education recognition and described the unique educational method by saying that Montessori education uses methods that support the student's natural development and emphasizes the importance of choice because personal choice is a very large part of life in the real world. In further description by researchers Angeline Lillard and Nicole Else-Quest, the Montessori method consists of multi-age classrooms, special educational materials, student choice in classwork, student collaboration, the absence of grades and tests, and lessons surrounding both academic and social skills. The physical classroom spaces in Montessori programs contain bright colors, natural materials, and a variety of cultural objects. The classrooms also do not have a set area designated to the teacher, and all of the aspects of the classroom are scaled to the children's size, as described by the Missouri Northwest organization. Although this method isn't necessarily the most popular approach to education, it has grown quite a bit since Maria Montessori first began her small school in Rome. According to an online article in Forbes magazine, since 1906, over 5,000 Montessori programs have opened in the United States. Montessori education has certainly grown much more popular over time, causing many families to have to think harder about where to place their children once they start school. Many people have developed opinions on whether or not Montessori education is more beneficial to its students in terms of long-term success than those who attend a school that does not offer a Montessori program. Researchers Angeline Lillard and Nicole Else-Quest conducted a study on students in Montessori classrooms versus students in regular public education classrooms in Madison, Wisconsin. Many of their results pointed to the benefits of Montessori education. After kindergarten, the students who attended Montessori schools performed better on standardized tests and engaged in more positive interaction on the playground. After all of elementary school, those students also wrote more creative essays, selected the more positive results to social dilemmas, and reported seeing a stronger sense of community at their school. Rasmussen College reported that Montessori education has shown a strong correlation with positive mental health in students as well as high overall life satisfaction. Some other benefits that have been noted include the emphasis on hands-on independent learning, a cultivated love for learning, and the natural inclusivity of special needs and requirements. In the extensive research done by Rasmussen College, they also reported a few of the drawbacks to the method. One of the biggest cons to Montessori education is that it can usually be expensive. Only a small percentage of Montessori schools are public, whereas the majority are private and require student tuition. This is due to the fact that Montessori education requires a very extensive amount of materials and values a wide variety of lesson types and educational styles that they need to support. This also leads to a notion that Montessori isn't necessarily accessible to everyone, seeing as private education tends to appeal to the white and privileged population. One last potential drawback to Montessori education, noted by Rasmussen College, is that the curriculum may be too loose for some. Some children require a much more structured approach to learning and can get easily distracted and overwhelmed by the choice-based nature of Montessori. In addition to this, some Montessori programs do not extend into high school, which can cause a tough transition if students have to enter the assessment-filled, structured approach of the typical public school. Overall, there are lots of things to consider when evaluating Montessori education, especially when deciding whether or not to send your own child to one of these programs. In conclusion, Montessori education is an interesting and unique approach to learning. Montessori education has a long history surrounding a unique and educational system, consists of choice-based learning and creativity, and is widely debated among many people. This lesser-known form of education has many different characteristics and components. I hope this information provided you with new insight into the increasingly popular world of Montessori education.